I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But Ian, this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Dirty Harry is a 1971 crime-action thriller film directed by Don Siegel that would become a tremendous success, spawn a movie franchise, help the sales of a firearm, and become a cultural icon in American history. In San Francisco, California, a sniper shoots and kills a woman while she swims in a rooftop pool. A police officer arrives at the scene, Inspector Harry Callahan, played by Clint Eastwood. Callahan finds a threatening letter left behind by the killer, demanding $100,000 or he promises more bloodshed. The mayor of San Francisco, played by John Vernon, decides to give in to the sniper's demands, despite objections from Callahan.
Give the message to the Chronicle. We'll agree to pay. We'll tell them we need time to get the money together.
Wait a minute, do I get this right? You're gonna play this creeps game?
It'll get us some more breathing space.
So might get somebody killed. But you let me meet with the son of a bitch.
None of that. You'd end up with a real bloodbath.
Harry's rough-and-tumble conservative style of law enforcement clashes with the more liberal ways of the mayor and the bureaucrats within the city.
Callahan!
Sir?
I don't want any more trouble like you had last year in the Fillmore district. Understand? That's my policy.
Yeah, well, when an adult male is chasing a female with intent to commit rape, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy.
Intent? How did you establish that?
Well, a naked man is chasing a woman through an alley with a butcher knife and a heart on. I figure he isn't out collecting for the Red Cross.
I think he's got a point.
Heading out for his lunch break, Callahan finds more chaos when he notices a bank robbery in progress. Using a Smith & Wesson Model 29 .44 Magnum revolver, Harry kills one of the robbers and the getaway driver. He then holds his gun on the third robber, who is wounded and eager to reach for his weapon, and gives the man an ultimatum.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Hey, I got to know.
Callahan is assigned a new partner to work with, Chico Gonzalez, played by Reni Santoni.
Get your degree?
Sociology?
Sociology. Oh, you'll go far. That's if you live.
I intend to.
Inspector Callahan. Just don't let your college degree get you killed, because I'm about to get killed along with you.
I'll remember that. So there is one question, Inspector Callahan. Why do they call you Dirty Harry?
Well, that's one thing about our Harry. Doesn't play any favorites. Harry hates everybody.
How's he feel about Mexicans? Ask him.
Harry begrudgingly works with Gonzalez, searching the streets of San Francisco for Scorpio.
No male Caucasian, repeat. No male Caucasian. Last seen, the suspect was wearing tan chinos, pale blue shirt, brown coat or sweater, dark gloves. He's carrying a tan suitcase, which probably contains a .30-06 rifle. This man is wanted on suspicion of homicide.
These loonies, they're gonna throw a net over the whole bunch of them.
Suspect is armed.
I know what you mean.
The officers soon discover that Scorpio has claimed another victim, a 10-year-old boy. The senseless brutality of the murder distresses Callahan.
Anybody know who the boy is?
His name was Charlie Russ. I'm his mother. He's only 10 years old.
620 Pennsylvania. 620 Pennsylvania. Ingleside 4, Nora, Ida, Charles, 593, 1032.
Inspector, this officer. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You better go check on the mother.
Reineke, Sergeant Reineke.
Yeah, what do you have?
There's a 30-06 shell casing. He was up here all right.
Welcome to Humison.
Based on the threats in his letter, the police think that Scorpio's next victim may be a Catholic priest, and they set a trap for him. Scorpio eventually arrives, killing a police officer and getting away.
Call an ambulance, will you?
Officer Collins never knew what hit him.
All right, let's go. Let's clear the alley. There's nothing to see. Call headquarters. He's loose in North Beach somewhere. Yes, sir. Let's go.
The next day, the police receive yet another letter in which Scorpio claims to have kidnapped a teenage girl named Anne Mary Deacon. He threatens to kill her if he is not given a ransom of $200,000. Harry is assigned to deliver the money, wearing an earpiece so Gonzalez can secretly follow him. Scorpio instructs Harry via payphones and has him run all around the city.
All right, police officer. This is how we play. I bounce you all over town to make sure you're alone. If I even think you're being followed, the girl dies. If you talk to anyone, I don't care if it's a Pekingese pissing against the lamppost, the girl dies.
They meet at the Mount Davidson Cross, the highest elevated point in San Francisco, where Scorpio beats Harry and admits that he intends to kill him and let Anne Mary die.
I've changed my mind. I'm going to let her die. I just wanted you to know that. I just wanted to make sure you knew that before I killed you. Goodbye, Callahan.
Gonzalez intervenes and gets shot in the chest, wounding him. Harry manages to stab Scorpio in the leg, but once again, the madman escapes. Harry learns of Scorpio's hospital visit for his stab wound, and a doctor reveals that the killer lives in a room at Kezar Stadium. Harry finds him there and chases him, shooting him in the leg. Harry then tortures Scorpio on the football field until he confesses where Anne Marie is being held.
Where is she?
You tried to kill me!
If I tried that, your head would be splattered all over this field. Now, where's the girl?
I wasn't.
I said, where's the girl?
I have the right for life.
Where's the girl?
I have the right for life. Done to me. I have rights for life.
However, when the police find her, they discover that it is too late, and she is dead. District Attorney William T. Rothko, played by Joseph Sommer, reprimands Harry for his conduct, explaining that because Harry obtained his evidence against Scorpio illegally, all of it is inadmissible in court, and that Scorpio is set to go free.
You're lucky I'm not indicting you for assault with intent to commit murder. What? Where the hell does it say you've got a right to kick down doors, torture suspects, deny medical attention and legal counsel? Where have you been? Does Escobedo ring a bell? Miranda? I mean, you must have heard of the Fourth Amendment. What I'm saying is that man had rights.
Well, I'm all broken up about that man's rights.
With the justice system stacked in favor of the killer, it is up to Harry to try and stop Scorpio before he kills more innocent people.
I want to go on the what? I want to go on the You want to go home and see what? Sorry, sing! Sing again!
Row, row, row your boat. What's the matter with you? Row, row, row your boat. I'm sick. Are you sick? What is it?
Oh, Ron, you can't show your mothers are gonna die. They don't start singing. I'm gonna kill all your mothers all with the rest of you. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is all I...
Mike, I'll get the right hand lane.
It's not right to do children that way. You can hurt them.
I don't need your advice. Just drive the goddamn bus and get in the right hand lane.
The character of Harry Callahan was created by a husband and wife team, Harry Julian Fink and Rita M. Fink. The script was originally titled Dead Right and was about a New York City police detective who is determined to stop a serial killer even if he has to skirt the rules of the law himself. Another earlier version of the story was set in Seattle, Washington. 4 more drafts of the script were written. The serial killer Scorpio was loosely based on the Zodiac killer, who used to taunt police in San Francisco as well as the media with notes about his crimes, in one of which he threatened to hijack a school bus full of children. The role of Harry Callahan was loosely based on real-life detective David Toschi, who was the chief investigator on the Zodiac case. Warner Brothers purchased the rights to this movie with a view to cast actor Frank Sinatra in the role of Harry Callahan. Sinatra was interested, however, he had broken his wrist during the filming of 1962's The Manchurian Candidate, and because of that, during contract negotiations, he found the large handgun was too unwieldy for him. Additionally, his father had recently passed away, and Sinatra decided that he wanted to do some lighter material. Warner Brothers considered Marlon Brando, but never officially approached him. They offered it to actor Steve McQueen, but McQueen didn't want to do another police movie after having just done 1968's Bullet. Burt Lancaster turned down the lead role because he strongly disagreed with the violence of the story and what he perceived to be its right-wing morals. George C. Scott claimed that he was offered the lead role, but that the script's violent nature led him to turn it down. Actor Paul Newman turned down the role because he considered it to be too right-wing. Paul Newman did, however, suggest Clint Eastwood as a possible star. Clint Eastwood agreed to star in this movie only on the provision that Don Siegel direct. Siegel was under contract to Universal Pictures at the time, and Eastwood personally went to the studio heads to ask them to loan Siegel to Warner Brothers. Clint Eastwood said the reason he took the role was because he felt the issue of victims' rights was being ignored in the political arena at the time, and he thought this movie might be a good way to bring it to the forefront. Which it did. After Clint Eastwood and Don Siegel came on board, they hired Dean Reisner to work on the script. In his first rewrite, the bank robbery scene ends with Harry not pointing the gun at the robber, but putting it against his own temple. He then pulls the trigger, laughs, and walks away. Clint Eastwood and Don Siegel both felt that this was way too extreme, even for Harry Callahan. Clint Eastwood performed all of his own stunts, including the stunt where he jumps onto the roof of a hijacked school bus from a bridge. The final scene in which Harry throws his badge into the water was a reference to a similar scene in Fred Zinnemann's iconic 1952 film High Noon. Eastwood argued with the producer and director Don Siegel because he said Harry knew that being a policeman was the only work for which he was suited. Clint Eastwood said there is no way that Harry Callahan would throw his badge in the water. The directors saw Callahan as a borderline vigilante and argued that in this way, Callahan showed his disdain towards bureaucrats who sat in the police department. He eventually convinced Eastwood that Harry threw the badge away as a symbol that he had lost faith in the justice system, not in law enforcement. When Don Siegel was hired as director, he considered Audie Murphy for the role of Scorpio. Siegel thought it would be a nice irony to have a genuine war hero and a heroic screen icon known for playing clean-cut characters play a complete psychopathic killer. Siegel offered Audie Murphy the role, but Audie Murphy perished in a plane crash on May 28, 1971, prior to making his final decision. The role went to actor Andrew Robinson, who Clint Eastwood recommended after seeing him in a theater play. After this movie was released, Andrew Robinson received several death threats and had to get an unlisted phone number. Both Andrew Robinson and Reni Santoni would play police officers in another movie about California cops, the 1986 film Cobra. This was the theatrical film debut of Joseph Sommer, who plays the district attorney. This movie's most famous line is often misquoted. Many people mistakenly quote the line as, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" while the actual line is, "You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?" Well, do you, punk? This movie helped popularize the Smith & Wesson Model 2944 Magnum revolver, which experienced a huge upswing in sales following the film's release. Clint Eastwood took one to a firing range so he could familiarize himself with the Model 29. Smith & Wesson was actually considering discontinuing production of the Model 2944 Magnum before this movie boosted its popularity. Each film in the Dirty Harry series prompted a surge in sales of the Model 29. Many of those pistols would show up for sale at used gun dealers just a few months after their purchase by buyers because the buyers discovered how uncomfortable it is to shoot the high-powered .44 cartridge. All of the blanks for Harry's gun had to be made especially for this film, as the standard 5-in-1 blanks used in most movies do not fit into a Smith & Wesson .44 Magnum chamber. Dirty Harry was a huge box office hit, grossing $36 million on a budget of just $4 million. Dirty Harry was among the highest-grossing films of 1971. The film was screened at Camp David for President Richard Nixon. Such was the success of this movie that Clint Eastwood and director Don Siegel found themselves invited to address police gatherings. In a 2009 poll for MTV News, the character of Harry Callahan was voted as the greatest movie badass of all time. In 2012, this movie was selected for preservation by the Library of Congress in the National Film Registry for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant to American history. This is a great movie. I think Clint Eastwood's awesome. I think it's so great that he had such a long filmography. I think it's wonderful that somebody as a kid in the 1950s could watch Clint Eastwood be a badass. Somebody that's a kid in the 1960s could watch Clint Eastwood be a badass. I was a kid in the 1990s. I watched Clint Eastwood be a badass. Clint Eastwood is a badass. And Dirty Harry, what a great movie. Harry Callahan, what a great character.
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
I highly recommend the 1971 film Dirty Harry.